if it were anyone but Hillary Clinton, there really wouldn't be a question about deposing her. That being said, we really went out of our way to give the court good reason to question Mrs. Clinton. Of course, that was over the opposition of this Justice Department and this State Department. So he granted us. What was it? What was it that Judge Lamberth? We read his decision, so I guess we do know specifically. What was persuasive to him about why Mrs. Clinton ought to be deposed, other than the obvious that it was her darn email system, and we need answers from her about what she was doing.
Yes, so it's her email system. She's the one who can speak directly to why she used it, how she used it, but also how she understood and what she understood were the obligations and her responsibilities with respect to records management and with respect to when she was leaving the State Department. We deposed the State Department's archivist, so to speak, during her tenure. And at the time that Secretary Clinton left the State Department, she had a form that she had to provide all the documents that she was taking with her, everything she was taking with her upon her leaving the State Department. And during the testimony from the State Department's archivist, she said the most glaring thing to her once all of this came to light was the fact that there's a section for electronic records, electronic documents that you're taking with her, and what was missing for the 55,000 and more. I mean, the 55,000 is just the ones that we know that she provided copies to the State Department, but there were a lot more that she took with her.
So
and I think the other,
okay.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
And the other issue that, again, new evidence that's come to light in the last round of discovery that we had are discussions among State Department officials about being cautious and careful with handling her email and not distributing her email address among other State Department employees. And was she aware of this? Is this based because of her instructions, et cetera? These are all questions that are very pertinent to the issue, and this is part of the reason that Judge Lamberth granted her deposition.
Yeah, he wants to know whether she was doing this to avoid FOIA, whether the court was being gamed here, because her attorneys were in contact with the State Department attorneys after she left. So what was going on there? And thirdly, where are the emails? This is a records case. Where are the documents? And we know they were hiding. And I think this is important to note. We got a key Benghazi email that had been hidden from the American people just really, I guess, at the end of last year now. They finally fessed up to it. The court was pretty upset about that, wasn't he? And they're still finding Clinton emails over at the FBI.
Right. We had to ask that in discovery. This was a fifth document that the State Department located back in 2014 in September when it conducted its initial search. And in that fifth document, there was an email exchange with Secretary Clinton herself, and her email address was included in that document. We only found out about it and discovered it through the discovery here, and we asked Judge Lamberth for the State Department to provide us with a copy, because their excuse was initially when the FOIA or whoever it was who did the initial search, they didn't realize that it was related to the Benghazi talking points, which is at issue here. So we asked Judge Lamberth for them to provide us a copy, because obviously we questioned the veracity and truthfulness of that claim. The entire email, from beginning to the bottom, discusses the talking points, the Benghazi talking points. There's nothing in there that would make you question as to what talking points that email discusses. I mean, it's pretty glaring on its face that it's related to this case. And
to be clear, talking points, we're talking about the document, the material, the kind of the PR material used by Susan Rice to falsely describe on every Sunday morning talk show just before the election that the Benghazi attack was the result of a spontaneous protest in response to an internet video, as opposed to the truth, which was it was a pre-planned terrorist attack tied to Al-Qaeda.
Right. Right.
Well, we're talking about the talking points and Susan Rice. I think it's important to note that we did, under court authority, submit written questions that she had to respond to under oath. And of course, as one might expect, she, as I recall, didn't remember much of anything about the Clinton emails and the Benghazi issue generally, in terms of
Right.
our specific requests and answer specific questions in terms of what she knew when about the Clinton email system in Benghazi.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.